So when you lose 200 pounds, you are a walking Q&A for the general population. On any given day, I get dozens of questions thrown at me, and of course, the most popular one is how? How did you lose the weight? How long did it take you? Now, as a linguist, I understand what is not spoken. How long did it take you, when it's usually asked, means how long will I have to go with restricting the way I'm eating before I can go back to where I am now? But my question to you is this: if you're unhappy where you are and you want directions as to how to come where I am, why are you asking me how to go back to where you are now? Now, in my opinion, you're asking the wrong question. The question, like Tony Robbins always says, is not how, but why. You need to find your why in order to get into the weight loss mindset. In my opinion, mindset is one of the most important, if not the most important aspect when it comes to weight loss. So I decided to make a couple of videos starring the weight loss mindset, starting with this specific video where I'm going to give you my strategy of the 3 steps to get into the relationship with your weight loss journey. But before we move on to the 3 steps, we need to find your why. Why is it that you want to go on this weight loss journey? Now, it's simple. You're probably saying, well, Talita, it's to lose weight. Yeah, but why? I need you to dig in deep into your soul and find your pain point. That point that hurts you so much that you just cannot go another day living like this. What is it about losing the weight that is so important to you? Is it something as beautifully superficial as wearing a dress? Or is it wearing a dress in order to go somewhere where you don't want to be judged because this judgment has hurt you even though you're pretending it hasn't? I know, I've been there. But is your pain point even deeper than that? Something you can only tell yourself. Find 2 whys. And I'll tell you why too. I want you to find one selfish why. And a selfish why can be as simple as, I just want to look good wearing that. And then a deeper why, the why that hurts you, the pain point why. When you have paused this video and you have found what it is that hurts you enough to move forward, then you're going to find how. Because you need the why in order to find out the how. The how is simple. I have it right here. I lost 200 pounds. I'll tell you how. But in order for you to get there, in order for you to find out how to do it and commit to it, commit being the key word, you need to be in pain and you need to want it really bad. So take a couple of minutes or days, no matter how long it takes you, and find your 2 whys. Your selfish why, the superficial why, the good look why, and the painful why. And then press play again. But who am I anyway? Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Talita from Shrinking with Keto. And throughout my ketogenic journey, I have lost, as I mentioned, over 200 pounds and reversed my type 2 diabetes. Now, throughout this journey, I have helped and coached plenty of people reach their goal. And I hope and I want to do the same with you. Now, every single person I coach gets the same speech from me before we start in order to figure out if we're a good match. And I think it's fair enough for you to get the same. You are entering in a relationship with me. Our relationship needs commitment. And we're going to date, then we're going to get engaged, and then we're going to be married till death do us part. Only, I need you to replace the word death with whatever your goal is. Till you lose your weight, till you reverse your type 2 diabetes or put it in remission. Whatever your end goal is, that's what you replace death with. And until you get there, we're not going to be apart, which means you need to commit 100%. And until you get there, you're stuck with me. And just like this speech, your relationship with your weight loss journey, if not with me, needs to be a committed one, needs to be one that you are going to go into the same way you would go into a relationship for a partner. And that's where the 3 steps come in play. Step 1, dating. Step 2, engagement. And step 3, marriage. Now that we've established that this is going to be a relationship that you're going to have with your weight loss journey or with me, do yourself a favor and refrain from asking when your cheat day is. I mean, do you really think we're going to start dating and the first thing you're going to ask me is when you can cheat on me? Really? Really? Let's see if this works out for us, shall we? Step 1, dating. The same thing will happen when you meet a person. You just met somebody that's interesting, new, the same way that you met this weight loss protocol. So you're going to go out on a date. Now, when you go out on a date, your goal is to get to know more about the other person, right? Your goal is to get to know their interests and what they do in their life. And then you cross-reference it with your interests and what you do in your life, and you see if this is a good match. Then you also enter the phase to see if you have chemistry with each other. You see if this person really attracts you or not, because they might have all the great qualities, but it's just not a good fit for you. Another thing we look out for during the dating time is to see if we still keep thinking about this person when we've left their presence. I mean, do you go back home and still think about the person you just dated? Is it hard to get them out of your mind? That's the same thing you do in the dating phase with your dieting protocol. For this instance, we're going to use the keto protocol, which is also what I use. Now, during your dating phase with keto, you're going to do your research. You're going to look up online. You're going to watch videos like this and like so many other that I have on my channel. You're going to find out as much information as you possibly can on the ketogenic diet. This is your research phase, your dating phase. It's the same thing you do when you meet a new person. You're usually going to get on their Facebook, scroll through their pictures, see if they're a cat lover, dog lover, what they like to eat, what they don't like to eat, if they like to travel or not. That's the same thing you need to do about your keto diet. You need to see what it's made of, what types there are, if there's any good fits for you. If you think about it long after you've closed your phone or your laptop and you're actually thinking and flirting with the idea that this could actually be a good fit for you. Now, we're only human, so when we start dating a new person, one of the first things we do, we carry the baggage from our previous relationships with us, and a lot of times we ruin the chances of ever having a relationship because we have all of that baggage from our previous experience. The same thing happens when you enter a new dieting protocol. Forget all the diets you tried. Forget all the times you failed and forget all the times you succeeded. Just leave it all behind. Try something fresh, something new. Trust the process. Give it 100%. See where it takes you. Because a lot of times you might be surprised with how much you really want it when you leave out all the ifs and buts. Now, let's say you have chemistry and let's say you like this new way of eating and this new partner, right? You're engaging in the relationship. So we're going to move on to stage 2. You've done your research. You've tested the waters. You've gone out plenty of times. You might have even spent the night. So now you're ready for the engagement period. So this is the time that you need to prepare your house for this marriage. You need to prepare your house, and by house, I mean your body and your mind. You have committed into this relationship. You have committed to trusting this protocol, this process to take you to your end goal. Now you need to get organized. This is where you empty the pantry and you start stocking it up with all your keto-approved foods. This is where you watch the videos as to how to prepare, the steps you need to do. You start taking your supplements. You start cutting out the refined carbohydrates, not with a sense of defeat, but with a newfound enthusiasm because you really want to know where this relationship is going to go because you have an idea in mind, your end goal, right? And you just cannot wait to get there. And I need you to prepare by doing the following things. The first thing you need to do is start looking for all the possible recipes that you enjoy on a ketogenic diet. And then I need you to find one day a week where you're going to do all your meal prep so you don't let yourself get hungry and then munch on things you shouldn't. Another thing you need to do is empty out the pantry of every single temptation there is because, you just got engaged. Please do not go to the strip club every day testing the waters. You're doing the same thing by leaving those nachos and chocolate chip cookies in the pantry at all times. In general, during the engagement period, it's all about preparation, right? You're preparing for your wedding. You're preparing for your new life. Well, in this case, you're preparing to enter a marriage with your ketogenic diet to take you to your end result. And finally, preparing yourself, even when you get cold feet that day before the wedding, to say, you know what? I'm all in. and I am trusting the process. All in, which is going to take us to stage 3. But before I move on to the next step, let me interrupt you for a second. If this is the first time you're seeing this pretty face, come on, let's make sure it's not the last. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and ring that bell icon so that YouTube can let you know every single time I make a new video for you. And please feel free to ask me anything you want down in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer every single one of your questions. The marriage. The first day you start on your ketogenic journey is going to be full of enthusiasm and also a lot of fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear if you're going to get the keto flu. Fear if you're going to fail. Fear if you're not good enough or it's not good enough for you. But you know what? You shouldn't be afraid, because if you followed my steps, if you've gone through the dating process and you've done all your research and you couldn't stop thinking about keto and you couldn't stop thinking about the way that your life with keto would be, then you have your research, you have your information. And if you've been through step 2 and you prepared your house for this marriage, that means your pantry is perfectly stocked, your recipes are ready to go, you even have food in the freezer, and your fridge is fully stocked. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You've also done a little bit of training by watching my videos onto how to prepare. Now, during the marriage, just like any marriage, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. Now, if you see this just as a weight loss or just as a diet, you'll be like, oh, today is such a hard day. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and have a cheat day. You know what? Today's such a hard day. I'm just going to go ahead and carb load. No. Would you do that with your marriage? Would you get in an argument and be like, today is a hard day, I'm just going to cheat on my marriage? Today is a hard day. Or would you stop for a second, get angry, because you're going to get angry, or frustrated, or exhausted? Take a breath and then try to find how to solve it. So you're going to hit a plateau, a weight loss plateau, and it's going to get you angry and frustrated, and you're going to feel that scale does not get you at all today. It just does not get you. But you need to be persistent, and you need to prove to that scale that you are committed. And trust me, if you do not deviate, then that scale will drop. And there's a lot of non-scale victories. You can even watch my video on that. And there's a lot of ways to know that you're still on the right path without that scale moving. And there's videos on that too. And there's videos on everything on this channel and many other channels, but you need to want it. So those moments when you hit a plateau, or when you're having a really bad argument in your relationship, when you're about to give up, when you're about to throw in the towel, guess what? That's where I need you to go to your why, and not the superficial one. Not the one about getting dressed nicely. That why that causes you pain, the reason you don't want to be where you are, you tap into it and say, until I get there, I will not stop. Because one of my favorite quotes when I started on this journey was, I know what giving up feels like. I wonder what will happen if I don't. I had hard times. I had very hard times. I had plateaus over plateaus over plateaus, and sometimes it was exhausting. And sometimes I felt like I'm going to give up altogether, but you know what? Giving up is never, ever going to serve your why. Seeing your journey through to the other side, giving it 100% and trusting the process, that's what makes the difference. That's where you're going to see results. And your results are not just going to be physical. They're going to be mental. They're going to be spiritual, because take it from somebody that's been there. When I started my journey, I was suffering from severe depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. And when I came out on the other side, I felt unbeatable. I feel that there is nothing I cannot do anymore, because that mountain that we climbed as a relationship, that place that we went to together with the process, that commitment I made, seeing it to the other side is so empowering. It's so empowering. And that gave me a whole new why. And that's going to give you a whole new why. Why? Because I want to lose weight. because I want to prove to myself that I can make it to the other side, because I can and I know. And then when you hit that moment, because you might, that you cannot find the solution in your relationship on your own, well, you would go to a marriage counselor, wouldn't you? This is what you do in this case. You binge watch my videos or videos of a person that speaks to you, one after another. When you feel like giving up, this is where you go to outside help. This is where you come to me. This is where you look for inspiration. This is where you look how to break the plat. This is where you bury your head and you sit there and listen to speech after speech, video after video, to make sure that you're getting all of the outside help that you can possibly get to save this marriage. And always, always tap into your why. Why did you start in the first place? And not the superficial one, the painful one. Always tap into it. So remember, my weight loss mindset is to approach your weight loss journey as you would approach a relationship. You date, research, find out everything you can about your ketogenic diet. Engage, get prepared. Prepare your house for this marriage. Marriage. And what does marriage mean? Commitment. And what does commitment mean? That when it gets hard, you stick to it. That when it gets hard and you can't deal with it, you look for outside help. And then you make it till death do you part, or until you have reached your keto goal. Now, if you have gotten any value out of this video, I will kindly ask you to press the thumbs up button, as this helps YouTube take this content and push it out to more people that need it, just like you. And as always, chin up, or you know by now, the crown slips.